Oh, Jesus. That was a fight.
Alright, where the fuck is this Pookie Pookie?
Hey, the Argosy has returned. So is the Tail Raider Safari. Cool. Yeah, Argosy, what you got for me? I'm actually not sure if I want anything the Argosy's giving me, because it's all low-rank stuff.
Yeah. So, Tails is infected by demon? Okay. Not sure how that would go, but okay.
I think I'm just going to say no to the Argosy. Because all of this is low rank. For the most part. Tail Raiders will hopefully have something good for me. I pray.
Sorry, I just shot 2 full cluster shots at a Gulguya and it's already running off.
About right. I would run off if I had just had 2 full rounds of cluster shot at me. Basil juice stuff. I guess with the basil juice stuff. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm going to hunt now. Are you ready to ruin things?
Almost. Wow, this poor beast. Oh, so it's Sparta from Devil May Cry. Okay, he's inside Tails' head.
Apparently.
Of course. So a lot of Devil May Cry demons. And actually, now that I see, it's all demons from the prequel Devil May Cry, the second, no, the third one.
Hey.
Okay, so Tails is having fantastical demon orgies in his head. Okay.
I'm not sure how I feel about this entire story we got going on right now.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, it's a fucking Sonic character. Like, they already look fucking retarded, so hearing this shit going on inside one of their heads is kind of creepy. And not in the, oh, this is creepy in a attractive way. It's creepy as in, like, this is some really weird shit. This is like deviant art, original character, do not steal bullshit.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I'm thinking. Like, that is exactly where I'm thinking right now.
Let me show you my original character, Sonichu.
Oh, hey, I didn't know you could go. I didn't know you could go here. Where does this go?
Where? What?
I'm in the Coral Highlands, and I left out of the back of the Camp 1.
Oh, yeah. It just leads to the bottom.
Yeah, I didn't know that was there.
Yeah, it's the way you get back up after you jump.
Oh, I just fast travel. And the problem I have with that entire story, Yuki, is it kind of, once again, doesn't do original. Like, it didn't change the... It doesn't sound like it's changing much of who Tails is, or who Amy is, or who Sonic is, or who Eggman is, or who any of the demons are. It's just combining them.
Yeah, generally self-aware consciousness things is like, okay, so my character is now Deadpool.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Deadpool is well written and he's hilarious. When other people try to write Deadpool, it's always just bad. Because it ends up being like the author's commentary. Or rather, the author's humor.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, we figured that, but you're also saying every time he encounters and beats another demon, he essentially has them added to his head.
He's basically becoming Tailspool.
Yeah.
Well, you are becoming irritating, buddy.
No, but the ones that you listed, like Cerberus, Nevin, and Beowulf, those are all the same ones Dante beats in the third game. And instead of him eating their souls, essentially, he just turns them into weapons. No, but what I'm saying is that the ones chosen are basically ripped from Devil May Cry. The mindfuck mechanic is ripped out of Deadpool. The what's it called? The everyone sees you as a demon but me thing comes from what was it? It's not Devilman. Although that would be funny. But there's an anime like that where it's like he's got to actually it's kind of like Trigun actually.
Yeah.
Because like everyone's against Vash because he's the walking disaster when he himself is a good person. Well, yeah, it's a given because demons, like, they're supposed to only live off of what we consider cardinal sins, and lust would be one of them. So tied to not intimacy, but straight up she bangs, she bangs, she bangs.
I mean, the problem I have with it, Yugi, is that it's not like the thing about copyright law is that in order to get away with using something someone else has made is you have to transform it into something unique.
Yeah.
And what I'm not hearing here is unique. What I'm hearing here is we use Tails kind of exactly as designed, and Sonic and everybody exactly as designed, and then combined them with something else. We didn't change the character. We just added something.
Yeah, and
It's not really changing it.
and yeah, another thing is that like Sonic was originally supposed to marry Sally in the Archie comics, and Amy wasn't really his love interest because she was like a little kid at the time. She was like his biggest fan. But like he was supposed to marry Sally, and then it sort of spiraled off because people were seeing the rising popularity in Amy, so they aged her up, and it's just like the way it's being described, it's a lot of stuff that I can easily, from what you're saying, I can piece the origins of the thing together just from little comments and like yeah. Yeah, and so Tails is being portrayed as like classic emo. But the thing about Tails is that Sonic is like his only friend. And without him, he would generally be very closed off and just want to work on his tools and inventions.
It's not even that to me. It's what yeah.
I don't know, it just doesn't seem like something I would be bothered to read. Like it's not that it doesn't sound interesting. It's that at its core, the subject matter is I don't like the origins. Which tracks us back to the original how we got on this subject about like the SAO abridged being better than the actual show. I'm sure it is, but at its core, it's content I'm not interested in. So I don't really care to take the steps required to look into it. Like I'm sure it's good, but it's one of those things like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's no, I do agree with that. But what I'm getting at is at its core, it's based off subject matter I don't really care about. Like I'm not interested in them. And I'm sure while many people, such as yourself, might find it very interesting, and I'm sure it is to many people because it seems to be a very popular thing, especially considering how enthusiastic you are about it. It's not going to be that kind of thing that draws everyone's interest. And it's just one of those things I am not interested in. Not because it doesn't sound interesting, but because I don't like at its core what the story was built off of.
And for me, I'm sitting here going, okay, kind of cool ideas. Why is Sonic involved? Like, why is it Sonic? Why don't you have an original character have the demon idea? Why did you have to use that?
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of what I see is, okay, I could have used... If it's the idea that you find is really cool of having a demon in your head, absorbing more demons, stuff like that, it should, like, the idea should have been used with the original characters. If you're liking it because it's Sonic, then why are you not watching the original Sonic, you know?
Mm-hmm. And, like, edgy, for the sake of removing edgy is just, like, whatever, but, like... It's just not my cup of tea. And like, yeah, as Nye said, like, if it's such an interesting story, why can't they just make it completely original, make their own characters, and claim it as their own? That way, they don't have people coming in with predisposed ideas of how the characters are supposed to act, and then going, "Why is this character acting like this or this?" Like. Because what you're making it sound like is that these characters act nothing like their originals, and so why is it using known characters for it when it could just as easily be completely original and in its own universe entirely?
The problem is that, see, like, part of me sitting here going, I think like I'm thinking a little bit like a hypocrite because, you know, I'm saying how good something like Darts and Droids is. But what has my attention about Darts and Droids is its core premise, which is interesting and somewhat unique idea that's using a universe but building kind of its own thing.
Yeah, like it's still taking known characters, but rather than claiming them as their own, it's putting a different spin on them entirely to the point that they're still doing the same things, but different reasons behind
And
things.
sometimes not even the same things. Like
Yeah,
it's what's
I can't remember what. I can't remember from Droids and Darths. Like, how the hell did Anakin, crazy little Annie, end up sleeping with Padme? I can't remember.
oh god, I don't even know.
Yeah,
I think they, if I remember correctly, they made it a much longer like relationship that built up over a longer period of time.
yeah, but she
But
was
it's
like,
been a while.
he was still like 8, and she was 17, unless they adjusted the ages a bit.
I I don't remember.
Yeah,
The problem is, Yuki, you the way you described it, they didn't build its own universe. It built
yeah,
on someone else's universe.
yeah, and it takes snippets from others. Like, it's not an original universe. It's it's a patchwork quilt,
Yeah, that's
as
a good way.
opposed to being its own sheet.
I think part of part of why I give Darson Droids a pass is it acknowledges what it's building on, but takes it in a completely different direction. So while someone like Jar Jar is still a goofball the way he is in the original movies, they give it a background. They go, okay, this is a D&D game. That's my 6-year-old sister who had to be involved, so this is why she's goofy. It doesn't... It kind of acknowledges what's there while also building it in its own direction. So... It... Like, it's really, really hard to do that and still make it work. Hey, you have another capture quest for me. What do you want? Oh, because I captured Beetlejuice, right. Cool.
Yeah, but what we're trying to say is that it's it's a new direction, but it's still taking those characters and then adding something else to it, like the Devil May Cry things, the Trigun things, completely reworking the characters. But it's like how do I explain this?
It's so in the way I'm seeing it, the difference is you have one person who has 2 cars, and takes he takes the cars completely apart and then uses the parts to make a brand new car. It is completely new, but you can see the pieces of the originals. That's the good thing. What I'm seeing you describe is someone cut the bottom half of one car off, took the top half of the other car, glued them together, and said, "I'm done."
Yeah,
They didn't change the fundamentals of the cars. They just they just used the cars together and said, "Okay, the merge is what's unique." It's not the lack of originality that I don't like about it. It's it's not it. It's not it's like those bumper stickers of Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes pissing on a cross or whatever it is. Bill Watterson never said yes to that shit. He didn't want them. That was kind of a big point behind him, is that he didn't want that. So they're just using a known person to make a point, as opposed to because they know that their message wouldn't work with just a random character. Who cares if random the character is pissing on a gravestone? It doesn't matter because it's random. But all of a sudden you take Calvin, who's kind of a really well-known image, have him doing it. Ah, I have connected with you. It's using someone else's thing to make your point, as opposed to making it your own.
mm-hmm.
It,
Like it sounds like it could be a great idea if they just didn't use characters from like Devil May Cry or Sonic or whatever. They still could have had that whole bit between the Mobians and whatever, but instead of it being Mobians and humans, why not make it like a completely new race in humans? Because I mean, humans are in everything. They're like roaches. They show up in every fantasy setting. uh, but like, why not have a totally different race? Maybe they're prone to having demonic possession due to their origins or something like that. Like, that would explain why everyone's so against Tails and how he has these things inside him, because maybe their race is predisposed to containing things, but people just don't want to deal with it because, I mean, oh, you're now unclean. Right then and there. It's already following the same story, but it's using like original thoughts, ideas. It's not just piggybacking off of other ideas and using them to get that initial spark of attention.
Don't feel bad, but it's gotta make it yours. That's kind of the point at the end of the day.
Like, that's why a lot of people like writing stories about like Final Fantasy or Monster Hunter or anything where the main character is what you make it to be. Because it the story it tells is very vague, and it's the player that decides how they make it their own. And so that's why you have a lot of people who write stories about things like crossovers between games and all that, because it's easier for them to do it that way because it's already partially their own. And so they end up using the initial startup or premise of the thing and then taking it in a completely new direction. People might see similar locales in that from just due to the world itself, and things might play out similarly, but the approach is what makes it unique.
I mean, what kind of has to be acknowledged is while we're saying this and kind of talking about originality and using what others have done, you know. Okay, Sugi, great idea. Why does it have to be set in the Monster Hunter universe? That's my question to you. As opposed to making your own brand new universe to throw that in, which is a cool idea, why do you want to put that in Monster Hunter? That entire idea has nothing to do with Monster Hunter. It apart from dragons being turned into gear, the idea does not rely on anything Monster Hunter brings to the table. So, right. So what I'm asking you is, what you're the whole thing with the Sonic and Devil May Cry is it was a cool idea that got shoehorned into an existing universe. So the issue I have with it is that it's shoehorned into an existing universe using existing characters. It would be a cool idea with its own unique universe and unique characters. In fact, I actually know a unique universe with unique characters that did the I've got a demon in my head idea, which is kind of one of the reasons why I don't like it. So, what I need you to think about is the idea that you just described. Would that idea be better in the Monster Hunter universe, or would that be better in your own personal universe? Well, yeah, but I'm not saying that you're saying it needs to be. I'm trying to give you an example of why I don't like the Sonic and Devil May Cry thing. I kind of feel bad about what I'm doing to this Tsuyaku here. I mean, keep in mind, I have to acknowledge kind of this elephant in the room is that I'm having this conversation with you on originality and original content versus using others' content while I'm playing the game Monster Hunter. I have to kind of acknowledge that. It's kind of an elephant in the room. But what I'm not doing is I'm not going out and saying, hey, like, the entire point of watching this is to watch me do all kinds of original things. If you're watching me because you want to watch some dude play a video game that you're interested in. And that's different from saying that I'm someone like... What's a
Keemstar.
good example? Wait, what's up?
Keemstar. Steals content left and right, claims it as his own, gets called out, calls other people.
No, I'm talking like someone like Ego Raptor, who used like with his like Metal Gear Awesome series and stuff like that. He used kind of established content, but made it completely his own with his own style, his own things like that. He made his own art, made his own story, made his own jokes based on something else. It's kind of a little bit of a different thing. Hey, look, you can have whatever standards you want. I just told you that one of the books, the book style I'm enjoying right now is lit RPGs. A lot of them are not really good. Like, I'm enjoying them as kind of a like trash TV style thing. Like I enjoy it the same way that my mom enjoys watching The Real Housewives of New York. Not amazing programming, but it's fun. Like, it doesn't require, like, higher level thinking. It's, I'm gonna sit and enjoy myself. Some of them do go to that higher level, and many of them don't, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. When I'm telling you about all this stuff, this is why I have absolutely no interest. Because of these aspects. Also, apparently I completely missed this Legiana. In no way am I telling you should enjoy it. I'm just telling you why I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, by all means, if you like it, you like it. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, look, one of my favorite video game series is StarCraft, and let's not look at StarCraft and go, hey, that has nothing to do with Warhammer. Because it really does, and there's a reason that it does. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my style. Look, if you like the idea of having a demon in your head and you think that's a cool idea that you want to mess with, go read the Dresden Files. Because that's an entire plot point for a while. You've read Dresden. Okay. Oh, Harry Dresden is great. But when we're sitting about this whole, hey, I have a demon in my head thing that is constantly talking about stuff, when you say that, all I can think of is Dresden. And considering that we're already using Sonic and Devil May Cry and stuff like that, I don't see unique. I see ideas taken from other people with very little of your own stuff put in.
It's very patchwork.
Yeah. Ow. I wish I could give you a better example. What? I could go there. It's, Yugi, to put it a different way, it's the same reason that I think that Twilight is a trash series.
Oh my god, Twilight is a trash series.
I know, but bear with me. The reason, one of the major complaints I have about Twilight, look, if this woman wants to write a novel about love, the entire point behind Twilight was she wanted to write a love novel that wasn't a bodice ripper. That's what was the idea.
Based off of Harry Potter.
Yeah, she wanted to have her novel that she could write that was a little bit different. Cool. But the problem I have is that she decided to use vampires. And the biggest problem I had with that is this woman has never read a vampire book, seen a vampire movie, knows nothing about vampires, and just kind of went, yeah, my vampires are different. they're nothing like vampires. They occasionally drink blood, and that was it. And she kind of took the idea of vampires and went, okay, I'm using this name, that was weird. I'm using this name that you know to evoke this emotion you have about that name, but I'm not actually giving any credit to that name.
Fun fact. The most common reaction to the word vampire in a connotation with Twilight is rage.
But that's the thing, though. Her vampires have no problem with sunlight. That's kind of a big deal. They don't have to drink blood. Kind of a big deal. They don't have vampire weaknesses. Kind of a big deal. They don't act like vampires. So my question is, okay, why didn't you...
Too.
What's up?
I think they have reflections too.
Yeah. So the question I have to you is, okay, why call them vampires? Why not let them be something else?
Alucard is a real fucking vampire.
Well, the thing about Alucard is that he's a vampire that is just different. We changed a couple small things about him to make him unique in this direction.
But at his core, he was still a fucking vampire.
Like, it's the same issue I have with something like Kirby's Epic Yarn, for example, or Kirby's Canvas Curse, or Dead Rising 3. These went, hey, I have ideas, right? I have things I want to do, but I can't be bothered to use my own unique character, so hey, let's use an established one to make it work. Or in the case of Dead Rising, let's use an established game series and just change it. What's Dead Rising based on? Time limits, having very specific ways to save, having to rescue people constantly, having to make choices. What Dead Rising 3 get rid of? Time limits, choices, so on and so forth. Okay, part of me wants to say yes on Star Fox Adventures, and part of me wants to say no.
Oh god, Star Fox Adventures. I played it, I beat it, I regret it.
I'll be honest with you, I actually kind of liked it and kind of want to go play it again.
What it was, like, at its core, as a game, it was good. It just had no business being in the Star Fox universe.
And see, on the flip side of that, I can see what they were trying to do. At the flip side, Fox still acts like Fox, and it still does Fox things. So does Slippy, Peppy, and Falco.
But why didn't they let him take his blaster? But they let him keep the fancy magic staff. It's like, when you get yourself a staff that can shoot lasers, give the man his blaster!
I think the idea was it'd be too easy. He would just shoot everybody.
Oh, once you've got that...
Once he's got the blaster, he just shoots every dinosaur and he wins. So
that's what you do with the fucking fireball thing.
Yeah, but
shoot everything and you win.
But it was almost a Metroid thing. Like, let him take away his blaster, give him something else. It's kind of like in every Metroid, Samus loses every piece of thing she has.
Not
because you can't.
She's been getting better at holding on to her Vargas.
Yeah, she has. But like, if you let her have everything, she's too powerful to begin with.
Yeah. Although,
look, I'm not going to say Star Fox Adventure was good, and I do see your point, Yugi, but at the same time, it didn't try to say we're in a full Star Fox game. It went, we're an offshoot Star Fox game. Whereas on the flip side, the stuff I'm talking about, where Kirby's Epic Yarn, Now, look, I understand. I played the original. Kirby does not swallow people and take their powers. In Kirby's Epic Yarn, you don't swallow people at all, and you also don't take their powers. It's got nothing to do with Kirby. But he was thrown in there because and this is legitimate, they actually needed a main character to sell the game. So they liked the idea, but they didn't think the game would work on its own. Same with Canvas Curse. Has nothing to do with Kirby, but they threw Kirby in as a name to make it work. And these are... Good.
I'll say it after.
Oh, that's Yugi. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But what they didn't do is they didn't change who Fox is. I don't know.
No, they actually did mention that. Originally, Star Fox Adventures was supposed to be just called like Dinosaur Planet or something like that.
I think I
And the
remember
main
that.
character was supposed to be Crystal and Tricky. But they realized it wouldn't really sell with a new IP, so they just kept Crystal in there, replaced her main character status with Fox, and then single-handedly created an entire genre of horrible, horrible, horrible. Oh my god, why does it exist? Furry art.
Uh, the thing is, though, like, at the end of the day, Fox was still Fox. He still acted like Fox. He still did Fox things, and he occasionally got in the R-Wing, and it was still about Andros. Like, on the one hand, yeah, it wasn't a true Star Fox game. On the other hand, they didn't intend it to be? I don't know. Like,
Well, they did do something like that, not with Assault, but the one that came after that on the DS. They made it a Star Fox game where each R-Wing, they looked similar, but depending on the pilot, it had different specs.
you're
Like,
talking about Star Fox Command, that one?
yeah, yeah, Command, not Assault. Assault came after Dinosaur
Yugi,
Planet.
I've seen games that have tried to do stuff like that. I have never seen one do it well.
Yeah, like Slippy's had a higher, I think it was like a higher speed or evasion, but lower damage. Falco's was a slower ship overall, but much higher damage. Fox's was uh, your generic balance type. Peppy, no, they replaced Peppy, but Crystal, I think, replaced Peppy, and her R-Wing had like more special ammo and carried more weapons and shit.
The other thing I'm thinking of is a game that came out a couple years back called Nuclear Dawn, which was a mix of first-person shooter and RTS. And
Although,
Good.
go ahead.
It worked fairly, like, decently. Like, you had a team of, I want to say something like 12 people. 11 people were running gun shooters, like you'd expect. One person was the commander that sat in the command chair, and they played an RTS and placed down towers that moved power, so they could also place down, like, defensive towers and structures, healing areas, things of that nature. It was a really cool idea. It didn't end out working all that well just because there was too many ways to cheese the system.
Yeah.
So there's a reason that they don't tend to combine stuff like that and change stuff like that. You know? You kind of, like, Monster Hunter, everybody is still playing the same thing, just with different styles. But you can't choose different play styles that way. Like you're saying, Slippy with an RTS, then it's no longer Star Fox.
Yeah.
What I think you're trying to describe is something like Burnout, especially Paradise, where you had this car gets boost based off of just going fast, this car gets boost off of tricks, this car gets boost that never stops as long as you keep doing well. It's all cars, they're all racing, it's just a different way of gaining boost.
There's another thing. Metroid Prime Hunters, though, that was the DS for one. That was actually kind of like what you're going for, in the fact that you had your classic Samus, but in the multiplayer, you could play as the other hunters, and what they could do is they had completely different play styles depending on which hunter you were using. One was like your stealthy sniper type. You had another that was like setting traps and shit like that. Like, lots of interesting stuff.
Go do a Dora Magdaros real quick.
Oh, he just popped for you?
No, I'm doing SOS because I need a, I need a gem.
Good luck with that.
Well, it's in my freaking meld list, but I don't know what you have to give her to be able to meld it.
Gold Wyvernian print.
Oh, that's it? Just that?
That's one.
Crap. And the only way to get that is to do the weeklies, huh?
Yep.
Lovely.
Yep.
Well, there are stuff like that, Yugi. They weren't popular. Things like the Landmaster, things like the
Landmaster was great. It's just people never really did it well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's stuff like Landmaster or the stuff like the Seamaster and stuff like that. People didn't really like them.
And they actually did do something like that in Command and 64. Depending on the mission, you could, or rather, depending on the planet, you could choose which way to approach it.
Oh, Assault did that too.
Yeah, it did. I mean, you could fly your R-Wing, you could get a Landmaster, you could fucking stand on an R-Wing. You'd be on foot. You could open the door, get on the floor, everybody do the dinosaur.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hated Tricky so much. There's something here. There's something here. Shut the fuck up.
He was just Navi, that's all he was.
You're not needed. Leave this place and never come back.
Okay. Part 1 broken. I do have like 2 other people in here, right?
One of them is probably me in chat.
No, not in this. I'm talking about in this Zora Magdaros. Like, I'm the only one that appears to actually be on Zora Magdaros right now.
Hi, Juratotus. Stop moving so I can shoot you.
I think, honestly, as much as I liked Adventures, that she stands alone on that one. We do not need another Adventures.
Oh, don't forget the sax solos.
God damn it, I was just not allowed to do anything. I just got chained by Zora Magdaros.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset about it, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's satisfying. Unload a full Wyvern Blast, and then Juratoris and Baroth go into a turf war.
Nice. Wow, and someone else just bought it. Not 100% sure how they died.
I'm really good at this, guys, I swear.
Well, I know I got blown up by the whatever it is, the the thing, the core.
Mm-hmm.
So I got hit by the core, and then I got, like, the core immediately blew me up a second time, and then immediately blew me up a third time.
Wow, that dick. A Metroid Star Fox could be fun. Well, not like Star Fox, but I think something where you can actually use your gunship, like pilot it and fight, that would be interesting. Because a lot of the Metroids, and the thing is, Samus is usually going through very closed off or labyrinth-like areas. So maybe a section where she could just get into her gunship and mow down swaths of space pirates or something, just because it'd be more convenient, would be pretty neat.
So Nerdagante just spawned. Guess what weapon I'm carrying?
Dragon?
Yep.
Gonna fuck him up?
Come here, nerd! Oh, yes, I am. Bitch, I've killed you. Don't even with me.
Well, it's not like we can capture him. We tried.
Oh, you tried capturing him in this? Just to see if you could do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, elders are invincible to traps. Elders are just smelly pyre hookers.
I'm trying to get his... Oh my god, did we just drive him off? Wow, we already drove off Nergigante.
Nice.
Yeah, you're not... Apparently you are not allowed to fuck with Nergigante in this. Oh, never mind, he's still here. Cool. I'm coming, Nergigante. We're gonna have some fun. Get Dragon Sealed, bitch.
All that Elder Seal does against him is prevents his spines from growing back.
Oh, cool. I'm completely okay with this.
Shit.
What's up?
I accidentally killed something.
Okay, and the guy who started the quest just died a second time. Yep.
I'm about to go kill an Anjanath if you want to come for that. Regular.
I need this. I need this jewel.
Well, I mean, that means I'm going to have my Zoro Magdaros shortly.
But low rank Anjanath. Fine. Post it up.